What's up, everybody? This is Gamer CJE. Welcome back to City Skylines. Today we're going to be talking about, in my opinion, the best 5 DLCs that you can get right now, plus a couple of honorable mentions. So to start off with, I believe the best DLC that you can get right now is the Industries DLC. And it provides 4 new industry specializations. You have forestry, farming, ore production, and oil production. It also provides you with warehouses and unique factories. These unique factories are unlocked by progressing in your industry areas. And this is what an oil industry area looks like. So we have production of the raw material, oil. We have refining of the raw material into mid-grade products. So we have plastic and petroleum. These are then shipped to a regular unspecialized industry area like this, and there these goods are refined into consumer grade goods and then shipped to commercial areas like this throughout your city. They are then sold to residents, and yeah, that's pretty much how that works. So here is the oil industry area. Here is a farming area, so you can have orchards, you can have fields, and it follows the same process. In the farming area, though, it's crops to flour and animal products that are then refined into consumer goods. And the assets are all just so cool looking. You know, I don't think you can really beat the Industries DLC for the amount of content that it adds and how much it changes the game. It's just awesome. Now, in this city, I don't really have an ore industry or a forestry industry. So those are the only 2 I can really show you in this city, but just take my word for it. Industries DLC is definitely the best. Alright, so the one I have for number 2 is the mass transit DLC. And the reason I have this on the list is just how big of a deal it is. It changes everything. It makes it a lot easier to make bus lanes actually usable. It makes metro so much more usable. It just it can save your city if you have bad traffic to set up a really good public transport system, and mass transit DLC makes it so much easier to do that. Number 3, I have airports DLC, and this is a recent DLC. It's not the most recent DLC, but it is recent, and it just is so much fun to build an airport. You actually build it all the way from the ground up. First thing you do is paint an airport area, and when you paint an airport area, it actually flattens the ground because the runways and the tarmac and all that stuff has to be absolutely flat in order for everything to work out the way it's supposed to. And you build your own terminal. This one is a modern 2-story terminal with a high crime rate, even though there's a police headquarters right there that is not very busy. I don't really understand why that's not working out. And as you progress, you eventually get to open your own airline. So once you get to level 3, you get to open an airline. But first you have to build an airline headquarters building. And then you have all these assets that you can add to bring up the attractiveness score of your airport, which will increase the usage. And I think it's really cool, the stats they give you to show you like how much is being used, how much is incoming and outgoing. And incoming is going to be tourists. Outgoing can be a mix of tourists and residents of your city. Very cool. I suggest definitely hooking it up with a with a train line into your city, because if you don't, it will absolutely destroy your traffic. And you don't only get the opportunity to have a passenger airport, you can also build a cargo airport. And they have awesome stuff that makes it so you can easily hook up a train line directly to your cargo airport terminal, and it makes it a lot easier to move a lot of goods in and out of your city and around your city. Okay, now I'm gonna throw in a couple honorable mentions here, sort of in the middle. The first honorable mention I have is the Sunset Harbor DLC. And the reason I have it in here is because I think it's sort of odd, but they don't complete the industry's DLC in the industry's DLC. You have the fishing industry, which seems like it should be in the industry DLC, but it actually is in Sunset Harbor. And it is a very cool DLC. You set up fishing routes, and you have fish markets, which make it so you can sell fish directly to customers without processing. And then you have a fish factory, which turns your fish raw goods that you get from the boats directly into finished commercial goods, which can be sold in commercial zones. So, you know, Sunset Harbor is a very cool DLC. Obviously, I can't really use it on this map because I am in a desert. As you can see, there are a couple of little pools of water, but I kind of doubt there's very many fish in it. All right, my second honorable mention is the Green Cities DLC. And the main reason that I even care about this DLC at all is because of the things that it adds for power generation. This right here, the solar updraft tower, is just an amazing dollar cost to power output ratio is just amazing compared to the other stuff that's on the list. And it also makes it, oh, I forgot one thing I was going to say about Sunset Harbor. It also adds, let's see, Sunset Harbor, it adds in these eco inland water treatment plants, which, if you're looking for a way to have low pollution and have no water pollution, this is the best way to do it, because it'll treat the wastewater inland, so you don't have to put any wastewater into your like rivers or ocean or anything, which seems like that should be what you're shooting for. And you know, I just really like that. Anyway, back to Green Cities. It adds a huge number of assets to the game, and including a couple of, let's see if Old Town, okay, including some policies that make it so city planning. Maybe it isn't in here. Maybe it's actually a zone. Let's see. Okay, residential. Yes, self-sufficient buildings. This makes it so they consume 30% less electricity, produces 30% less garbage. You do generate less tax income, but the buildings do look very cool, and they're self-sufficient, like it says. And that's part of the Green Cities DLC, which is an honorable mention on my list. I do like it. Now, off to number 4. This is the newest DLC, and I have it built right here. It is the Plazas and Promenades. And I do like it. I haven't really fully explored it, but it definitely was worth the money that I spent to buy it. It adds new assets for the hospital. It adds a high capacity hospital, high capacity fire station, high capacity police headquarters, and it adds also high capacity elementary, high school, and college, which is very cool because it makes it a lot easier to manage this many people in a small area. in just this tiny little area here, I believe there are like around 25,000 people in this tiny little area. All the places for them to work, all the places where they shop. And yeah, so very impressive. I do like it. I think their models on their buildings are very, very interesting. Some would say cool, but it definitely breaks up the boredom sort of the ways that other buildings can look. Like if you look at these, they're kind of a little bit boring. Actually, actually these are part of the that DLC. They're the service points that make it so you can basically teleport trash, you can teleport goods. So there are no I believe this is true. I don't want to say it 100%, but I believe that this is true. The only things that can go into here as far as vehicles is police cars, fire trucks, ambulances, and hearses. So anything that's going to get delivered to this area, so goods and anything that's going to be taken out, such as trash, is teleported to these pedestrian area service points. So you can put them next to a railhead like this, and boom, just immediately stuff will get delivered here. And if you put it close to, you know, a recycling center or, you know, these other trash services, it makes it a lot easier to avoid huge traffic problems when you have a densely populated area like that. So the Plazas and Promenades DLC is very cool. It adds a lot of awesome assets to the game. And now let's get on to number 5. This is a DLC that I do use in pretty much every city that I build. It's awesome. I love it. It adds a lot of flavor to the game, and it is the Park Life DLC. Park Life DLC adds 4 new types of custom parks that you can build. You can build a city park, which adds a whole bunch of new assets to the game. It makes it so you can easily cover a large area with, let's see if I can find it, with leisure. It's a big area for just one park to cover. It's very cool. I'm very happy with the amount of coverage that these give you. You can build a city park, you can build an amusement park, you can build a zoo, and you can build a nature reserve. The only one I've built in this city so far is a city park. I've built 2 city parks actually. I have Holly Gardens over here and Deadwood County Downs over here. But it just adds a whole new dimension to the game to be able to build your own custom parks. You just can't beat it. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you have any suggestions for maybe other DLCs that should have been on my list, put them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Thank you for joining me, and join me next time.